Record to computer. Okay, sweet. All right, guys. I am going to pull up my deck after I share my screen. Pull this up. This is not it. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. So first of all, I just want to kick off by saying welcome home. Some of you are brand spanking new. Some of you, this is your first month. And then there's a couple of you here on the line. You've been around for a year. Maybe you've been around for 2 or 3. And you got a message from me that said, hey, I'm rebooting, like I'm starting this new team, onboarding them with all of our amazing resources. Would you like to re-engage? And you've said, yes, I'm all in. I'm ready to engage. So we've got like a nice mix on the call tonight of brand spanking new people and folks who have been committed consumers, maybe in and out building here and there, but are here to stay, and the time is right for them now. And that's who's on the line tonight. So I just want to start by saying welcome home. I love this photo. I can see actually Susan Miller dead center in the middle and Murray Miller to the right, and then Jessica Johnson right underneath him. This is our team. This is our community. And this is your home. You guys have made an amazing decision to be a part of this community and this team. And so I just want to say that, you know, you've made the right decision. We're one of the fastest, most professional and streamlined Isagenix teams in the world. And some of you feel that and you know that. While I was running the numbers earlier today, we have over 9 Isagenix millionaires in our upline. 9. And dozens of 6 to multiple 7-figure annual income earners. Annual. Dozens. And it speaks volumes to the leadership and the team that we're on. Numbers wise, if you look at our upline, like from the top to the bottom, our organization, starting with Susan Miller, there's over 100,000 lives participating on this team. There's 100,000. But what's interesting is that out of those 100,000, you know, there's a couple of hundred that are focused on building. And when I say that, I mean, when we run our global exec team calls every day, Monday through Friday, there's a couple hundred that dial in every day. Okay. There's a couple hundred that are interested in the business. Now, with those couple hundred, there's even fewer, I would say dozens, that are really laser focused and committed to creating financial freedom for themselves and for their families. And I consider you guys who are on the line tonight as part of those dozens. And so I just want to cast that vision for you of this like incredible team that you're on, the incredible support that you have. And I just want to welcome you home or welcome you back. Regardless of the space you're in and where you're going. So the purpose of the call tonight is really to connect you. I want you to feel connected to the people that you're building this business with, because this is a collaboration. It's leverage with teamwork. I want to orient you. Many of you are brand spanking new, or you're dipping your toe back in, and I want to orient you to the phenomenal tools that you have. And I want to light a fire under your ass. Like, that's what I really want to do, is I want to light a fire under you, and I want to inspire you that you can do this. And so that's really the goal of tonight. Let me look at my notes for just a second, because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So let me go back for a quick second. When I say I want to light a fire under you and I want to inspire you, because my husband and I, because it's our 10-year anniversary tomorrow, you know, we're kind of reminiscing over things. And I actually had a call with my life coach today. And it's one of those things where like, I'm in a space in my life right now where I'm like, life is good. Like, I love my life. I love my life, and it is okay to say that out loud. I know a lot of people have things they want to change about their life, but I love my life. So what can I do in my space to take the life I love and take it to a whole nother level? What can I do to improve my life even more? Well, what I can do to love my life even more is to show other people how to love their life as much as I'm loving my life now. Right? So that like takes me to a whole nother level. I've had a year and a half to experience financial freedom. I've had a year and a half to experience time freedom. And so now it's time for you guys to experience that. It's time for me to pass the baton. And so that's where the whole purpose of this call and this whole like kickoff of this new training and onboarding and where we're going, my goal is to help you guys duplicate what I've done. And if you'll just hang tight and participate for the next 3 months, you're going to be really surprised at what you are capable of doing. Okay. So that's why I'm here tonight at 8:30 on a Wednesday night. My 10-year anniversary with my husband is tomorrow, and I'm catching a flight to New Jersey, is because I'm so inspired by you. I'm so driven to help you see the light, see the life that you're capable of living, depending on what your goals are. So what are we going to do tonight? I want you guys to get to know each other a little bit. So I want to spend just a quick couple of minutes going around robin, introducing yourselves. A couple of you jumped on our call last month. So this is going to be a little bit redundant for you, but it's going to be great for the whole group. And then I'm going to show you the guardrail. I'm going to show you a pathway. I'm going to help cast a vision for you step by step on how we're going to launch this business together over the next 90 days. What I'm going to do over the next 90 days is I'm going to take the Global Exec Team Training webpage and I'm going to break it down into digestible chunks for you. Because we've worked really hard to make this training for you all. But I think what we have failed to do is actually create a training curriculum that holds you accountable to moving through it. And so my purpose in the next 90 days with you guys is to help move you through this curriculum so that in 90 days you look back and you're like, dang, like I made it. I'm a director. I made it. I'm an executive. Now it's my turn to hop on these calls and help Melissa run them because I have people I've brought into this organization that are looking for my leadership to train them to get to where I am. So that's my goal. That's the purpose. So without further ado, for the next couple of minutes, I want to do a round robin and just have you guys introduce yourselves. Let me pull up my participants so I can see who all is on the line. Okay, so I don't recognize there's a number I don't recognize, but I'll call you out in a minute. So let's start with Kristen, just like you're just the first one I see on the screen here. So Kristen, why don't you just share with the group, maybe when you joined Isagenix, and where you reside, your professional background, and why you're pursuing this business. I think the team would love to hear this. And by the way, you guys are financially tied to the people on the line tonight. So, I mean, it behooves you to learn from people. Okay, go ahead. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself. Sorry, Kristen. Let me unmute you. There you go. You can talk.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Kristen Smith. I am up here in Boston, Braintree, if anybody's familiar. I am in med device sales right now, selling in the glaucoma ophthalmology. And I joined Isagenix, I believe, was it March 30th? Yeah, March 30th. My husband got my call, and I wanted to do the 30-day challenge, wanted to really reboot my own nutritional system and do what I loved. I have 4-year-old twins and then a 3-year-old, and I just feel like I've been wiped out for the past few years, but they're at that age right now. I've been wanting to do it, and I feel like I have this whole new passion for, nutrition and getting healthy and helping others get healthy. I'm on my 4th week now, coming to an end on the 30-day challenge, but I'm obviously going to be continuing on, and I'm looking to be successful with the business.
Awesome. Yeah, and Kristen's already pulled me into a three-way from someone that she found on LinkedIn. And she's got me on a three-way tomorrow after I land. Karen, you've got me before I get on the plane, and Kristen has me after I land in Atlantic City. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Kristen. I'm going to move over to Scott Garrett. You're a newbie on the team, newly inspired. You've not been on the products that long. Why don't you share with everybody a little bit about yourself, where you reside, and why you're pursuing the business?
I'd be happy to hear me.
Yep.
Scott Garrett. I live in the beautiful mountains of Brevard, North Carolina, right in the middle of an 8-acre state forest that I don't have to pay property taxes on. So it's pretty cool. Enjoyable. I was a forestry and wildlife major in college, but I came out of the University of Georgia with straight to work for Pfizer right out of school. And since then, I have spent 32 years in big general farm. I'm with now is much smaller. I'm with Synovian Pharmaceuticals, ironically near Boston, out of Marble, Mass is where our headquarters is. But really, the reason that I'm pursuing the Isagenix business is been 90% of my time on the road. So that cool place I told you about that's in the forest, of 1,000 acres of state, and that's not where I want to be. My wife is there, but I want to be there with her. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm to no longer be a road warrior. So I've been looking at different things for quite some time, and this is where I want to be for a while. So thank you for having me, and thanks for pulling the call together. This is great.
Awesome. Well, Scott, I think it's so critical when we are so geo-dispersed and you're in such a questionable space that you're not sure about, that you quickly become connected to the people across the country that you're not only financially tied to, but you're inspired by and connected to and have the same mindset. And so that's why my vision is to actually host these calls monthly. Karam has actually already participated in one last month. He has the luxury of coming in before a lot of you guys on the line. And my goal is to do this monthly, to have people connect and hear their stories and really validate why you're here, right? So welcome. And by the way, I highly suggest next time you're in Boston, try to coordinate with Kristen. Karam actually was in Phoenix this past week, and I think you and Louisa were able to connect. I actually haven't gotten the skinny on that yet. I'm hoping to connect with you, Karam, maybe for a couple minutes before our three-way call tomorrow to hear about your visit. But they didn't know each other from the man in the moon, except that they knew they were teammates, and Karam was in on business because he's in pharma. And he knew that she was a PharmD teammate of his out of Phoenix, and they met while he was there. So I highly suggest you and Kristen meet over coffee the next time you're in town, because it's just inspiring to connect with people who are in the same mindset as you. So welcome. All right, Karam. Yeah, so I know a couple of people have heard you, but these new folks on the line don't know who you are. So I'm going to give you a minute to share your same thing. Share with us your background and why you're pursuing the business.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for having me on. Hello, everyone. Nice meeting you. So my name is Cam. And I too am in the pharma space. And it's funny. I wasn't even linked or connected to Melissa on LinkedIn, but I guess connections liked a post that I happened to read, and I was really intrigued by it. I basically, the whole concept of stepping from an industry. I love the industry and I like what I do, but I don't want to have my back to the wall ever. And so, kind of a leeway, if something should go south, it was really intriguing to me. So take much when I post her and ask her what it is she was doing. And lo and behold, I saw the product. I did my research, continued to do my research, and quite what not disappointed every time I, turn over stones, waiting to, look for a disappointment. It just got better. So I'm liking it. I mean, I pacing it in such a way where, I realize I don't have any enrollments yet, but I know successfully and in due time. So I'm not stressing out about that. I'm just kind of enjoying the ride, so to speak. I next the pleasure of visiting the home office at Isagenix, and that was really beyond impressive. So I really, recommend it to anyone who's in Phoenix. That's about it. Did I miss anything? Pharma, medical affairs, a little bit.
Can you tell everybody what's your background, Karen? What's your actual graduate degree in?
Yeah. So I actually DRPH, which is a doctorate in public health with an emphasis in disease prevention. And basically, my didactic involved exercise physiology and nutrition. And so I really had to kind of go back and match and reconcile some of what we're taught now, and some of the things that we're finding with our old school approach, if you will. Point intermittent during the days that we were in training, you eat regularly and frequently. And now for fasting, I'm coupling different, thought processes with the science here. It's I'm down 13 pounds. It's noticeable among a number of people. So yeah, so I'm enjoying the ride. And I'm the one thing, I'm not to belabor this, but I looked into so many various investment opportunities, and this really built that it was associated with minimal, upfront, cash flow, if you will, upfront cash, and support. And that was very enticing to me.
Absolutely.
So, sorry.
Yeah, no, and you make a great point. I mean, there's a low upfront cost investment, and then you consume it monthly and you write it off. Susan Miller and I went back and forth about this today because there's a lot of debate. If you guys have been around long enough, you know that I'm the ultimate pack and value pack queen. That's what I promote. But there's this new concept, and Karen, you and I can talk about this tomorrow, that some people, we just got to get the camel's nose in the tent, right? So your guy who's the arm wrestler, who's really physically fit, cost is a barrier for him to come in over $500. So maybe we just want to get his nose in the tent and get him started on something less. So we'll talk more about that as we move on. But anyway, I agree with you. Low upfront cost to a phenomenal opportunity. Your comment, I want to kind of foreshadow for you guys. Karen mentioned that we connected through LinkedIn, and he's not even sure how. As we move forward over the next 3 months with this training, one of the things I'm going to be incorporating with you all is my LinkedIn training. I've actually never done this before with a group. I've really begun to develop it over the past 3 or 4 months, and it's working really, really well for me. All of you that are on the line tonight who have enrolled in the last 2 to 3 months are because of this new kind of philosophy and algorithm I'm using with LinkedIn, because I'm focused 100% on corporate professionals who are looking for residual income and an income opportunity. So just know that that's coming down the pike. I'm going to be coaching you guys on that. You can use it as you want. You can also lead with the product, and you'll have plenty of training on that as well. But that's going to be a part of our 90-day curriculum. So I'm glad you brought that up. All right. So we've got Brian Cook. Thank you, Karen, by the way. And we're not going to have a team call this Sunday night, Karen, but maybe the following Sunday night. We can talk about this later, but I'd love for you to highlight your experience at corporate. We can talk about that tomorrow. Brian Cook, if you could share a little bit about you. and your professional background and why you're pursuing this business. You just disappeared though, so I don't know. Might have to come back to him. Oh, there he is.
I'm hearing now. Sorry, my daughter was awake and yelling. So she's 2 years old. So there's no avoid going there.
Hide in the
So
corner.
Brian, yeah, pretty much. That's what I was trying to do. Sorry, there's a terrible light behind me. So a pharmacist, I went to, it seems like forever ago, 13 years? Yeah, 13 years ago. I really I'd seen in college and she had posted, about Isagenix, and I could see the difference, in her, because she was always very active, mindful of what she ate. You know what I mean? More, I was drinking way more beer, and stuff like that. So, so I was never really that mild, but I've run to more because I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis about the year after I got out of pharmacy school. So I was living the pharmacist life, 8-hour shifts, lucky to get a cheeseburger. I literally had like Ensure shakes in the refrigerator underneath, where I worked. I get it. You know what I mean? Like that's all you got. But I'd reached a point where I realized I had to start eating because I was older. And my work was not coming back good. Like my HDL, I think was around 22. Now I think it's at 38. And actually, if you know me, I could be I'm not the, I don't know. I don't enjoy exercising. I do it now, so, but not enough to. I've seen, big jumps in energy. When she started talking about it and mentioned that it reduces inflammation, if you know a lot about MS, a lot of the issues around stay revolve around inflammation. My disease progression kind of centers around things like that. And so sometimes I was like, I know, I'll try. It'd be crazy for me not to. And now I own my own pharmacy. I have 2 kids. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm trying to do, Isagenix and things like that. But I think it's helped me, to kind of get through a lot of struggles that I've had with over the years. And like I said, I bought a pharmacy, and if you're thinking about like initial investment to get into a business, you compare like, Isagenix spent the, million plus that I had to, endure just to kind of like get that business. But that's kind of my background, my story.
Awesome. Yeah. And guys, Brian has such a powerful story. I love last year we had him do a couple, Brian, I should have you actually on one of our product overviews. Next time I'm in charge of a product overview, you might be my guest, because I love your story about heat intolerance and how he, I'm just going to put words in your mouth for a minute, but how golf was a passion of his. And after his diagnosis of MS, over a period of time, his heat intolerance was so bad that he found himself just in the golf cart, not able to really play golf with his buddies anymore. And after a number of months of implementing the Isagenix system, he was able to get back out of the golf cart and actually play golf with his friends again and have energy in the afternoons with his kids. And it's just such a heartwarming story that really validates what these products have to offer people beyond just weight loss. So Brian, thanks for sharing. And I'm glad I just had that like epiphany that you're going to be my next guest speaker. So, all right. Sadie Hogue is our next teammate on the line. Sadie, where do you reside? What's your professional background and why are you pursuing Isagenix?
Hey everyone, I reside in Memphis, Tennessee. And I guess 9 years July. Just Melissa and Brian and I all went to school together. Melissa and I have actually probably known each other since we were in and out of each other's lives. But I don't know, Melissa, was I like one of the first people you signed up?
Yeah, you've got a sweet spot on the team.
So I see. So I guess it's 4 years now that I've been on this team. And I kind of come in and out of it, and just recently saw Melissa and was like, I need to try. Yes, I didn't guys do, but I am it's my stepdaughter. I am a director of pharmacy at LaVarner Children's Hospital in Memphis. So I kind of weight loss journey, and Melissa talked to me about Isagenix and joining, and I wondered success. So, but I probably like Melissa and Brian have student loan debt and looking for ways to get that paid on as possible. Anyway, I guess that's it.
Yeah. So I will tell you a story about Sadie that she's not going to tell you guys, but when she has her mindset to something, she does it. So last year she got engaged and she had a wedding coming up, and I've never seen her so laser focused in my life. She's like, Melissa, I need to make like 20 grand. I need to pay for some of this wedding. And what do I need to do it? And she hunkered down, and girlfriend like crushed every corporate promotion there was. She was enrolling people on value packs left and right. Like you had like 10 enrollments in like a week one time. She crushed the 20 grand. She made a ton of money for someone who's still working full time, who had a financial goal. And I want you guys to hear this story because it's kind of the life cycle of Isagenix. Some of you have your toe dipped in and you're like, I'm not sure. Some of you over the next 90 days are going to, maybe 2 of you are going to just sink your teeth in and commit and just do it for 90 days. And on the back end, you are going to soar as an executive. But there's some of you who are going to have some own personal self-development, some deception that you're going to work through, and that's okay. It's okay to have that deception. What I love about this compensation plan is it doesn't matter. Like your position is still there, and you're still accumulating volume as a committed consumer till you're ready to go. Maybe you're ready to go for a year, and then you kind of coast for a year, and then you grind it out for another 2 years. But I just want you to know that everybody has their own pace, right? Thank you, Sadie. What about Martin? Where do you reside? What's your professional background? Why are you pursuing this business?
Hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for your investment in us. I appreciate you doing this and organizing this tonight. My name is Martin Conway. I am living currently in Mooresville, Carolina, just north of Charlotte. My professional background is mostly in the pharmaceutical industry with one of the big companies. Similar to Scott there, my brother from another mother, it sounds like, but I don't have 32 years, Scott. I'm about 50% of that. Why am I business? I guess it's freedom and it's legacy. It's freedom. I think it was Kara made the comment earlier on the call about how you back to the wall. At the point in the profit corporate world, your number is going to come up, and we know that's going to happen. And either you pull your own trigger, say I'm out, or it will happen at a time of not of your choosing. So I don't really like that. I don't really accept that as an option. And part of my trusted Melissa, and that's what got me involved. And then the second point is just legacy. What sort of legacy, what sort of life are you looking to lead? I have young children, a 4-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl. So similar to Kristen on the front end of the call, we're busy. But I want to make sure that whenever my time is up, you have the legacy for them, not now, but that they realize there is more than one way to live life, and you can live it on your own terms. So that's the short version, and it's great to be part of the team and great to everything she inspire us in everything she does. So that's it.
Aw, thank you, Martin. I'm just blessed to have all you guys on the line. I mean, that actually brings me to my next kind of rhetorical question and my next slide. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I do have, just to acknowledge, I've got Jennifer Bartram and Dawn Turner on the line. These gals are in observation mode because they are rock stars and they are leaders on the team. And I'm rising them up to really duplicate what I'm doing tonight. So they're here listening as leaders on the team to go out and duplicate this with their team that they're recruiting right now. Their teams are going to be folded into this training that we're doing on that Facebook page, but they're individually leading their teams like I am tonight. They'll have their own kickoff calls. So I just want to acknowledge that they're on the line. So welcome to the call, ladies. They've got full commitments, full time, just like the rest of us or the rest of you. This is like my part-time, full-time thing now, but just wanted to acknowledge them. So let's move into that. So let me share my screen again. Hang on one second. How do I change this? Let me move this over. Oh, you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Like my slide deck? Okay. Oh, Mike, you're on. Okay. I don't see you anywhere. Can you speak, Mike? Because I'd love for the team to hear you. Sorry, I just texted him to see if he was on the line. I'm going to unmute this line. Maybe this is you, Mike. Mike Dodson. I've got unmute on an unknown number. It might be you. So I'm going to let you speak, Mike. 937.
Yes, that's me.
Yay. Okay, Mike, tell us who you are, where you reside, and why you're interested in the business.
Yes, this is Mike Dodsworth. I reside in North Atlanta in the Jefferson area with my wife, Diane. I joined Isagenix, I believe it was April 1st, and then joined April 16th. She's currently on, I believe it's day 5 of the 30-day cleanse, and doing well for her. But, you know, my story is a little bit similar to Karam and Scott's in that as far as Karam's story goes, I found out about this via LinkedIn, and it was one of my coworkers at Bayer had liked one of Melissa's posts, and it kind of curious. So I clicked in and I looked at it, and I listened to a video that she had, and it sounded like something that was interesting to me because I've been into health and fitness a long time, and I started competing in bodybuilding shows about years ago, and ended up getting pro card in the masters category. And so really for the last 3 or 4 years, I've really dialed in my nutrition with supplements and everything. But so I listened to Melissa's video. Quite honestly, I wasn't really sure what to think about the Isagenix line. And then I went to my trainer, who trains a lot of L guys. My stepson, Taylor, is a quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. So he trains with Dr. Joel Seaton down here. So I asked you about the process. Hey, they're legit. Well, that was all I needed to hear. So then I connected with Melissa. We talked a couple of times. She signed me up. And really the thing that was the science of these products because, you know, as I said, I've taken a lot of supplements, protein powders and things like that. But the pharmaceutical composition or the chemical makeup, you know, however you want to describe the products, again, really intrigued me. And I thought, you know what? I've got to buy a supplement, put the very best supplements in my body. And based on, you know, what I've learned about the science and talking with Melissa and just reading and things like that, I'm really impressed with the Isagenix line. And so I've been taking the protein powder, the Isagenix Pro, as well as bar rackets, seeing, you know, great strength gains in the gym from those. And so here we you know, I'm really excited about this journey and being able to take these supplements and tell other people about how the Isagenix line has changed my life. I'll just briefly add that, like Scott, I've been in the pharmaceutical industry over 30 years with Medicaid for the last 6 years. Currently working for Bayer Healthcare. Been with them for the last 15 years, and prior to that, I was with West. This year, bought 2008, and I sell a line of IUDs to OB-GYNs. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. So are you guys hearing all these stories? Like, one of the whole reasons of really corralling you all together is to hear like all these amazing human beings across the country that are really interested and intrigued about this business just like you. And my goal over the next 3 months is to coach you on how to go do the exact same thing I just did to bring you all here together tonight. And my goal over the next 3 months is as we all work the system, as we all put these pieces into play and we all take action, we'll be funneling in a whole new class that we'll get to train over again like I'm going to be doing with you guys over the next couple of months. So hopefully that makes sense. So this was kind of my kind of rhetorical question I'm just going to ask that you guys think about. And we're going to do a really cool exercise about this next week, about your why and what excites you. And you guys shared a little bit tonight, but over the next 7 days, you're going to get to dig really deep about this. But that's why are you here, right? I mean, it is 8:30 on a Wednesday night. In the middle of the week, you all work full time. Why are you here? Like, what do you want out of this? I am here to tell you that what you put in is what you will get out. The amount of this business that you want, you can have. You just have to be willing to do the work. And I'm sure Brian and Sadie probably hear that I am like a broken record because I've been saying this for like 2 or 3 years. But it's true, and I am a testament of this. I have been in, I have been out. In the first 2 years, I lived in your shoes. I had 2 small children. I was a director. I covered a third to a half of the country. I had every excuse in the world to not do this, but it wasn't until them being my excuse for why I couldn't achieve that I made the shift of like them being the reason that I had to achieve. It was, they weren't an excuse anymore. They were my why. They were why I had to take action. And so I want you guys to think about that. And the call's going to go a little bit late tonight, but I promise in future calls it won't. But part of it was we really just needed to get to know each other and hear each other's stories. But I want you guys to think about that over the next 7 days. Why are you putting in time tonight, right? And what are your goals with that? Okay, so I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 90 days, right? I said it, 90 days. You guys have kind of self-selected to be in this global exec training. And I want to explain to you guys really what that's about. What I'm doing is I'm taking the global exec website that Susan Miller, Jessica Johnston, and I and a couple of other leaders worked relentlessly on to create a training website. Everything's there. The problem is those of you who work full time, it's too much to like digest, right? So my goal is to help you digest it weekly over 90 days so that by the end of those 90 days, it is totally up to you, but you can be director, you can be executive. In the next 90 days, if you commit to daily action, and it doesn't have to be an hour to 2 hours a day daily action. I'm talking, 10 to 20 minutes a day, but being consistent, right? But I for one, background noise. I'm gonna mute you all. Okay. And so hopefully this is inspirational for you guys, but I think sometimes I know when I was in your shoes and I was trying to build this business, sometimes I would say, well, they don't get it because they don't work full-time anymore. Like this is all they do, right? I do get it. I was in your shoes. And the reality is I gave you guys the statistics in the beginning. There's over 100,000 people on this team. There's 9 millionaires, right? There's a dozen to 2 dozen folks who make 6 to 7 figures. And they hands down are the people who week after week, month after month, found a way to pull themselves up and out of a rut and keep going. There's going to be weeks that you want to quit. There's going to be weeks that your kids are throwing up and crapping all over the place. There's going to be weeks that you're dealing with HR as a manager and there's not enough hours in the day to keep up with life. And the key to this business is like accepting what is, but not letting it trip you up for the rest of the week, not letting it trip you up for the rest of the month, right? To have that ultimate goal that, okay, so this day I had intention to work on my Isagenix business and it didn't happen. That's okay. I'm going to plug in tomorrow morning and get inspired for 30 minutes by the GAT team, and I'll pick myself back up. I can tell you today that the millionaires that I follow have that resiliency, right? We all started doing something else while we were building this. And it's the resiliency and ability to engage when you disengage that's going to bring you through. So, quick reminder, kind of went off on a tangent for a second, but a quick reminder of the tools for the brand new people. We have Facebook pages, the ramp effect. Step one, anyone who's interested in the product, they don't have to be enrolled. Add them to the ramp effect. It will be your marketing tool for anyone who's like, oh, what's that shaker bottle for? Oh, why are you cleansing? Kristen was in the car with her boss the other day. Imagine this, guys. She's in the car with her boss and she's cleansing, and her boss is like, what is that? And Kristen starts to educate her and she's like, how do I get it? Add her to the ramp effect, let her learn. Then as far as business goes, I have my own individual business team page called Run With Me. It's my own small team page that I like to coach to. You guys are all also added the Global Exec team page, which is a larger Facebook coaching page. And every single one of you tonight is on the Future Isagenix Executives webpage, Facebook page. We also have www.web pages. And a great example of needing this is when you have a call with a prospect. Karen, this may happen tomorrow. It happened for Kristen and I last week. We're on a call with a prospect and he wants to go do his homework. You give them a website to go do their research. We're recruiting professionals who want to make an informed decision. So we send them to the www.getfree.global webpage, and we've got the password. The training webpage that we're going to be doing all of our training off of is the globalexecteam.com. Each week as I post an assignment, each week I'm going to give you guys like a 1 hour assignment of something to watch or do. It's all going to come from this same webpage. It's because it's going to be duplicatable, because when you start building businesses of critical mass and you start pushing for director and executive, and you've got leaders budding underneath you, you're going to want one single tool to send people to. And this is the tool you're going to send them to. And the more fluent you are with it, the easier it's going to be to duplicate it. So this is like our training platform. The prospect funnel. Right now, as we speak, we have an overview going on about the business. Hopefully you invited some prospects to go take a look. Doesn't matter if you're as new as Scott or Kristen, you can still ask your network to come take a look. Scott, I'm gonna give you a huge shout out. Scott's he got his box last week and he had someone on the product call last night. He doesn't know anything about it yet, but he's excited. He's jumped on the team calls so he can forward his prospects to take a listen. The Zoom links are the same week after week. This is a little screenshot that you guys are welcome to have. If you don't have it, text me. That's a go-to for all of our resources. So the daily training calls, the telephone number, let's see, no, I don't want to annotate. Hang on a second, guys. This won't get out of my way. Can I X out? This is gonna bug the crap out of me. Somebody's chatting. Brownie bar tastes great. Brownie bars taste great. Okay. Well, I don't know how to fix this bar. I'm going to just keep talking because I'm on a roll. I don't know what's going on here. But you have your telephone number for your daily calls from 8 to 8:30. And then, guys, if you can't make the calls during the day, please make it a habit to listen to the recordings daily at the same time every single day. In the middle of the page, you see the prospect web page. So this just gives you the actual web page and the password, and the training page and the password for you for reference. Down at the bottom, there is the Zoom link, the http:// Zoom. That web link, I want you guys to understand, that web link, it's the same every Tuesday and every Wednesday night. I want you to take that and save it into the notes section of your phone when you're in the car with an Uber driver, when you're with a colleague or your boss. and they ask, what's that shake? What are you doing? You can say, hey, you know what? I know the company has these overviews on Tuesday nights. Why don't you go take a look and learn about the product? You let the business, you let the leverage piece work for itself, okay? You're leveraging your teammates who already know what they're talking about to speak to your prospects. Your job is just to follow up, right? So make sure you're leveraging that. Okay. Oh my gosh. I am completely stuck. Pause share. And I can't get out of this page. All right, guys. I don't even know how to get out of this. I can't. Oh my gosh. Does anybody have any better knowledge of Zoom than me? For some reason, I cannot get out of this screen. I'm pressing escape and I can't get out.
What screen are you in?
Well, I'm just sharing my screen and it's not letting me move slides or anything. I may just,
Can you pass control to for a second?
What's that?
Can you pass control to someone else for a second and then it be passed back, or is the board totally dead?
It's not letting me. Just guys, I really apologize. I'm just going to boot it down and boot it back up because I'm just completely frozen. Give me just like 2 minutes. I apologize. I just have a couple more things to discuss, but I don't want to lose you now. But for some reason, my keyboard is just completely frozen up and it's not letting me come out of. It's not letting me come out of here. All right, I'll be back in just a second. I'm just going to. Oh my gosh, it's not even letting me hang up. Okay, so we're just gonna freelance this because clearly this isn't gonna let me do anything. This is like life testing me on technology. Okay, well, that's fine. So here's the deal. You guys you've met each other tonight. We've talked a little bit about the tools, okay? The goal is to really leverage the Global Exec team page each week. Now, what I was going to share with you guys was a couple things on how you're financially tied and how you can make 6 figures in less than a year, but I can do that like a Facebook Live. Somebody's chatting. If you're chatting, you can just unmute yourself. Can you send the slides out? Yes, I will definitely send the slides out. And because my computer is just completely frozen. I don't know what's going on. But let me just cast a vision for you over the next 3 months, and I'll talk about the call to action, and we'll wrap up at 9:30, which is really what we wanted to do anyway. We are going to move through a curriculum that I have custom designed for you guys to leverage our Global Exec team page, move you through the continuum of being a brand new builder to being an expert builder, and coach you on how to utilize the tools to funnel in your network, to take a look, to enrolling them, to funneling them in to listen to the calls just like you're doing, to then funnel them into this training. And so, one of the things I harped on in the beginning is that we all are busy. We all have conflicting schedules. We all have competing priorities, which is why I assigned the group buddy system. Some of you might think it was a little silly. I have found them to be highly effective because when you're out there across the country and you're already accountable for a 9-to-5 and a lot of responsibility, and throw a couple kids in there, man, life can throw you some lemons. And it's really easy to get off track from your vision and your goal with this business. But aligning you to an accountability business partner who's in this with you, who has similar goals, aspirations in life, My call to action for you guys tonight is, the homework is to connect with these people. So I sent you a group text with you and your accountability buddy. Your call to action this week is to connect with them for 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to truly be authentic with them, learn a little bit about them, and understand why they're pursuing this business. And over the next 90 days, my goal is to have an action item and some work for about an hour or so each week for the next 3 months, each week, with a touch base call every Wednesday night at 8:30. And for the first couple of weeks, some folks are going to be really engaged and they're going to show up and they're going to do their work. And then what's going to start to happen is life's going to get in the way. And you're going to have one bomb thrown at you after another. And the accountability system is going to be there for your buddy who knows your goals, knows your aspirations, to be checking in on you and making sure that you are holding yourself accountable, and that you're holding them accountable. And it's going to be a symbiotic relationship. And I've done this in years past and in months past in building this business, and it works beautifully. And you're going to create phenomenal friendship and relationship with someone who is just as passionate and goal-oriented as you are. And so one of your responsibilities is, on our next call, if you notice that your buddy's not on the call, is shoot them a text. If you see that they're falling behind, follow up with them. Jennifer says accountability buddies were extremely helpful for doing homework and for personal development and connections. Yeah. So when you even make this one connection with this one human and this Isagenix team who's kind of in the same bubble as you, it's amazing what it'll do for you. I have so many dear friends in this organization, from us being kind of in the same place at the same time, connecting, and building this business together. So that's one of my biggest action items for you tonight. What I want you guys to be aware of is that weekly what I'm going to do is I'm going to be posting assignments. So our assignments for this week, I actually have already posted today on the future Isagenix executives Facebook page. It's a very exclusive page. It's only you guys who are going through the training, okay? So, your goal really is to, at least on a weekly basis, jump into that page and check what the assignments are so that you can do them. I wouldn't be asking you to do them if they weren't income producing. My goal is to just help you put one foot in front of the other and eat the elephant one bite at a time. While you're still managing this huge career that you have, we can still slowly begin to build this income producing asset that you're a huge part of, with this massive organization, with this incredible team that has significant momentum. So my goal, week after week, month after month, is to create momentum, create competency, create engagement, create confidence, create fluency. And by the end of these 3 months, you're going to be fluent, you're going to be competent, you're going to be bringing in new people into the organization. And in a couple of months, you guys are going to be running these calls. And we're going to take turns, and our organization is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's going to be important that every 2 to 3 months we can fold in a new class, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, or Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 class. Duplication is key. So check the Facebook page tonight or tomorrow for your assignments between now and next Wednesday. I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy the final assignment. Most of the assignments are really simple. You're already doing them. So this week's kind of a wash. But the last one is really powerful, and it's to listen to Peta Kelly. She was the fastest to millionaire, like under 25. She made $1 million in Isagenix in less than a year and a half. She's a force to be reckoned with. She's a vision caster, and I can't wait for you to hear her section. And that's really the homework for this week, beyond being engaged, and checking in with your accountability buddy. So a couple things. I want you, because I don't have the slide right now, so I'm going off rote memory. Plug into the calls daily or listen to the recordings. Connect with your accountability buddy this week. Make it happen. And check in on the Facebook page, the Future Executives, Isagenix Executives Facebook page. Check it weekly for the assignments. And just dive in, guys. Give me 90 days. Give me 90 days of week after week, a couple of minutes a day of commitment, plug in weekly, and see where this business takes you. Where I want to land is that, and I had all these pretty slides, I'm going to send them to you guys, is that, you know, it sounds like work, right? It sounds like effort. Well, the reality is that you can't, an income producing asset doesn't just fall in your lap, right? Those of us that have created it did the work. There's the word work in network marketing. I think there's a misconception there, but here's the difference. We can live for the next 40 years of our lives in mediocrity and wonder what could have been, but be, you know, complacent in life and not overly challenged and not really burning the candle at both ends, doing fairly well. Or we can grab the bull by the horns for the next 2 to 5 years, depending on your pace, create a massive, massive income producing asset for yourself that ultimately frees you financially for the rest of your life. I personally caught that vision 2.5 years ago and didn't stop until it happened, because I grasped the idea of burning the candle at both ends for a little while. Think about it. Even 3 to 5 years in the lifespan of your career is not that much. And it's actually really fun and exciting. And on the back end, you get to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, wherever you want. It's incredible. So think about that. You know, think about that is putting forth the effort now, a couple of minutes a day, 2 to 5 years, depending on your effort. Could be a year for some of you. Could be a year. I hit 6 figures in less than 2 years. Depends on your goals. And we'll get you there. We'll get you there. So I'll wrap up on that tonight. And my final slide actually was a picture of this woman kind of like jumping from one cliff to the next. I loved it. But it basically said, to live a life you've never lived, you have to do what you've never done. And that was the journey I took a 1.5 years ago. It was really a metamorphosis up to that 1.5 years ago when I left my career. But I had to be willing to do things I'd never done. I had to be willing to fail. I had to be willing to be a blubbering idiot, not knowing what I was saying to people, and fall flat on my face. I had to be willing for people to say no. I made a post by Emily Bavra today on the Run With Me page, because she so eloquently speaks to this, that people look at those who have achieved success and think that it's always been that way. But it wasn't. These people were more willing to put in the effort than anyone else. They were more willing to practice. They were more willing to learn. They were more willing to coach, find the gaps, and grow. You guys are a dynamite group. I am so excited for where this team is headed and the leadership that's going to be on this team today. Your level of engagement already, I'm beyond excited. And my leaders who are listening in that are going to be running their own calls, I cannot wait to hear what comes out of what you guys are doing as well. And we're just going to pave it forward for the next group. Like, I have this vision in the next couple of months that you guys are going to be running these onboarding calls, because you're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people packing the lines that are in your downline that you brought in. And that just excites me. It excites me to no end to bring you guys into this and then rise you up as leaders to create your own teams and do with it what you want. Nothing excites me more than your success and the fact that people within my downline, when freed financially, can do even more good in this world. And I know I'm getting kind of like hippie on you, but it just excites me to free people from what they're doing daily to give back even more to this world what they can with their talents. So with that, I'm going to wrap up tonight. Mark your calendars. I'm looking for commitment from you weekly at 8:30 on Wednesdays. I'm recording. So when you have a business meeting or you're with your boss, I totally get it. Catch the recording, but we're going to be doing these weekly to follow up with our homework and our insights. And I think the homework with Peter Kelly over the next 7 days is going to be really powerful for all of you and a great way to kick off this training with really digging deep into what excites you. So that's it. It's 9:33. I went 3 minutes over. Sorry for the technical difficulties. If you guys will post your email address on the Future Isagenix Executives thread, I'll email all of you this deck. And I'll probably do a Facebook Live tomorrow with some of the stuff I might have missed once I figure out how to unfreeze my computer. All right.
Thanks,
All right.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Have a good evening. Don't forget to connect with your accountability buddies. Make sure you get to know them.
Will do.
All right.
Hey, happy.
See you guys.
Sure.
Good night.
Still not muted, huh? I'll see you tomorrow, Melissa, or I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, let's chat. Let's try to catch each other like 30 minutes before the call. Can we do that?
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, that'll be great.
So the call's at 11:30, right? Eastern?
Yes.
So let's catch up at 11. I'll call you in my Uber on the way to the airport, and we can just catch up on your week, what's going on, and then we can get your prospect on the line.
Yeah.
Sound good?
That sounds great. I have a few yeah, I've been looking forward to connecting with you, so looking forward to it.
That'll be
All right.
Perfect.
Great.
All right.
Hey, and thanks for doing this, by the way.
Oh, good. Well, I think it's important, you know?
You, this is how to be successful. So you're paving the model quite nicely.
Oh, thank you. And well, it's important to be connected, you know? I hate that my slides are just frozen, but I think I'm going to have to let my computer, like the power die for me to get out of this. I don't know how
Oh, you can't even shut it down?
No,
Wow.
I can't even shut it down. I'm hitting the power button and it's asking me to click a button to shut down, but then it's not letting me click it.
Interesting.
I've never had this problem before. Anyway, we'll chat tomorrow.
Have you tried holding it down? Okay. Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Are the Tuesday, Wednesday evening calls recorded?
They are. And if you go to the Global Exec Team Facebook page under, let's see, I think it's admin. Let's see. Let me do.
You know what? I'll find it. Don't worry about it. I
No,
just
it's
needed
okay.
to know yes or no.
I'll pull it up really quick. If you go to Global Exec Team, if you go to the Facebook page, and then underneath that, you click on announcements. And you scroll down, all the Zoom links are in there with the speakers. You just have to click on and copy the Zoom link.
And that'll do the recording for that
That's right.
link.
So you can click on the Zoom link and copy it and then send it to someone.
Okay, great. I'm going to send it to Tim now.
Now, the only caution I'll give you is the one I did, there's like a 15-minute black space before I start speaking, because I started the Zoom like 15 minutes before the actual call because I'm just type A. I wanted to make sure it was all working, and I didn't realize Tammy had it on like auto record, so it recorded the first 15 minutes of like nothing. So if you send mine to people, you need to, on the product one, you need to tell them to fast forward through the first 15 minutes because there's nothing in there.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you for that.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I'll make note of that. Again. All right. See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.